Let's talk about fashion instead, and sustainable fashion in particular, and textiles and shopping, because our next guest can discuss all of those. She's Shazia Saleem, and she's on the line now. Hello, Shazia.
Hi, good morning.
And
How are
good
you?
morning to you too. So first of all, remind people what you do.
I'm a fashion designer specializing in sustainability. I have my own brand and boutique in London, and it's still a startup. But I've been working in sustainability for over 10 years, and yeah, it's just it's like a fashion that sort of is less exploitative of the environment and people.
And how difficult has it been for you in the period when obviously your main outlet has been shut?
Yeah, it has. Like, so I've been. I mean, it's devastating for high streets and for retail with the pandemic. But I've been really. I'm really fortunate, and I have been supported by customers with online orders, and I'm really grateful for that because it's been quite a lifeline. But it's been a crash course as well in online sales and how to make the most of it and optimize that side of the business. But I'm looking forward to the 12th of April. That's the sort of goal now. So and it's been surprising, Robert, because I've been looking to move to maybe like a larger boutique as well. So I have been on the search for something affordable, but all those stories about rental prices coming down are just not true. I mean, I'm looking for something in the interim. So yeah, so let's see what's out there.
In terms of what's out there, in terms of fashion, do you think because people have had nowhere to go, has that affected what they've been wearing, do you think? Because we haven't had weddings or parties or events or whatever.
That's true. I mean, so there has been a sort of loungewear bottom and a smarter casual upperwear. There's been a bit of a divide on the body in terms of fashion. So, with people wearing more comfortable bottom halves and stuff, and if you have online meetings and things, you can sort of disguise your and balance the comfort with the looking smart for video calls and things. But yeah, it's fair enough. But I mean, there's no point in being restrictive in your own home.
No, absolutely not. But I mean, I've found, and I love buying clothes, and I love nice things. I haven't bought anything this year. I bought one pair of shorts in the hope that that might make the sun come out and maybe we could go and have a holiday, but it hasn't worked as yet. I haven't worn them. But I haven't felt the need to buy a suit or nice shirts or ties or pocket handkerchiefs or any of the things that I might normally go and do because I've just got no reason to wear them. I've got a wardrobe full of clothes I haven't worn.
Yeah, but are you sort of looking forward to when lockdown lifts and things,
Oh,
or
absolutely, I am. Yes, and I'm sure the minute I'm allowed to go somewhere, I might buy some new clothes to go in.
yes, and I mean, I don't know about you, but during lockdown, I've sort of my sugar addiction has just gone through the roof as a sort of coping thing. So lots of people maybe they've gone up a size, or maybe their bodies changed a little bit with the change in lifestyle. So those kind of realities, I guess, will mean that people have to sort of relook at their wardrobe and think about swapping some things out. And yes.
How important is the sustainable element? Because we hear a lot about fast fashion. Do you think we might have? Well, I mean, and I'm thinking hopefully that we might have hopefully moved beyond the concept of fast fashion or throwaway fashion.
That would be amazing if it was true, but unfortunately, or I mean, the high street stores and fast fashion online stores. I mean, the online stores are doing so well with their fast fashion led business concepts that they have been able to buy up all the ailing high street household names, and so I mean, I guess to an extent it's about affordability and with people's incomes being squeezed and there's that fashion as just a consumption, and making weekly throwaway items. And I would hope that it is still very much in the younger age groups that people still dress like that. I mean, as you've been saying, that I mean, because we're locked down, that there shouldn't really be a reason for fast fashion companies to still be doing that well, but yet they continue to report high sales. And so I would hope that, if you are more aware, that you would make some more informed choices. And it's not about sort of just throwing out all your fast fashion and replacing, but it's just as and when you have to make changes, maybe make a more informed choice. And go for smaller brands. Like there've been quite a few articles about greenwashing, and there's a bit of a drag.
What's greenwashing?
Yeah, so greenwashing it's a new version of the old marketing spin, where you might remember instances where soft drinks companies will sponsor sports drink, they'll support sports days and promote them, but it's counterintuitive. And it's the same now with greenwashing, where the multinational global stores and companies will make a really, like, 0.5% of their produce will be made with a more eco edge, or from sustainable fabrics, or organic cotton. But actually, broadly, their practices are so bad and exploitative that making a small collection, which is negligible in the greater scheme of their turnover, it's just marketing spin. But
if one wants to buy ethically, what are the most important factors? Is it what it's made of? Is it where it's made? Is it how well the people are paid that make it? What do you think are the factors?
It's all of those factors. I mean, for me, I lead with design, but equally important is the quality, because quality equals longevity, and that means that you don't need to throw the item out, and it sort of transcends that trend-led cycle, but at the same time, there if you're following international certified standards of production, I manufacture in London, but I also have manufacturing in India, and but both of those fall into different price categories because of the basic costs, but it's taking into account all of those factors and the ethics of the working conditions of everyone who's involved. So yes, it's all of those.
I mean, the other thing we've heard of quite a lot from manufacturers and from retailers is the problems of post Brexit, of selling into Europe in particular. Have you come up against those?
Yeah, it has, actually, unfortunately. There's limits now. I believe that between the UK and the EU, you can buy something up to the value of £39, but anything over and above that, you're going to be liable for any further duties and taxes. Which, I mean, yeah, it's really restrictive, and it has had a bit of a dent on sales and things. And the fashion industry has been sort of left to deal with it. I mean, the government hasn't really supported, and they're just saying, that we individually have to use our star power to negotiate with the EU. I mean, I don't really feel like I have the skills or the clout to negotiate trade terms. So it's quite bizarre.
Has online sort of kept things going, would you say? Has it kept, and have you had to adapt towards that?
Yes, so online has been fantastic, and I have adapted quite well, I think. I mean, it's been quite good because of the increase in online sales, customers have actually become quite good at measuring themselves. So so what I've instigated on my website is that for each style, I'll put different measurements, and that broadly it has led to a reduction in returns, and customers are more aware of which size they should buy, because that's often quite a turn off with online shopping, where people don't know and they don't want to stand in a post office queue. But certainly the feedback that I've had from my customers is that the sizing that I've got on the website are really accurate. So, so that's been good. But, I mean, have you had problems with returns and things?
I don't buy things online. I tried a couple of times and it's just not me. Whenever they arrive, they either don't fit, the material is not quite what I expected, the cut is slightly different. And so I've literally come to and I have tried a couple of times recently. I've come to the absolute conclusion that I'm not buying anything until I can go in a shop and try it on, because it just doesn't work for me. Whereas my kids do it all the time. But they don't seem to mind buying something and then sending it back the same day. Just the amount of grief involved of having to undo it, repackage it, work out the packaging, go to the post office or wherever it is. I'm not doing it. I'd rather wait till the shops are physically open and I can walk into them.
It is really boring, isn't it? That whole post office thing, that customer experience is just not ideal at all. And for me, because I love being in my boutique and I love like meeting customers and, seeing them try clothes on and, how that makes them feel. And, the restrictions of online is that, I feel that one of the really unique parts of my collection is that I really take care to make sure that the fabrics are such good quality and that when customers are trying them on, it's the softest, the texture, that's a part of the experience, and that you just can't convey that in an online setting. So, I mean, it's convenient for some people, but yeah, I prefer in-person shopping.
I think particularly for clothes, I mean, I think it's different if you're buying something where everyone is the same. If you're buying a book or you're buying a record or you're buying whatever it might be, and, that hardback copy or that paperback copy of that book is going to be the same as the next one. Whereas a piece of clothing is a much more individual item, particularly bought from somebody like yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many restrictions to putting things online as well, that there's huge costs involved in terms of photography, and it just is an all round like nicer experience to go into a shop. And people say that, it's more convenient to buy online, but once shops are open again, then actually you've got you can walk home with that style, that you don't even need to wait for delivery and things. The unfortunate thing is that, with a company my size, I only have a boutique in London and some stockists. So if you're in Inverness, that makes it a bit more difficult to do that. So yes,
I mean, certainly online gives anybody who's based in one place a much bigger audience, doesn't it?
It does, yes. But I admit I am still like you, that I prefer in-person shopping, and there's the element of serendipity or curiosity or treasure hunting that's missing in an online experience. You can't just wander down a lane and just happen across a shop and find like a treasure, and so that sort of discovery element is missing online, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I guess one can, and people do, and my son certainly does, spend hours kind of trawling online and comparing and contrasting and doing all of that. But I guess it's each to their own, really. I mean, particularly for clothes, I want to feel the cloth. I mean, that literally feel the cloth. I want to see how that's going to hang. I want to see whether it's going to keep its crease and its shape and all of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, where can people not feel the cloth at the moment? Because you're not going to be back open until the 12th of April. But where can they find out more about what you do?
Yeah, poplondon.co.uk is the website, and we've got live help as well, and there's a phone number as well if anyone wants to ask questions about anything they're buying. But poplondon.co.uk.
Shazia from Pop London, thank you very, very much.